Hey guys, MJ here from Nitecore Singapore. Today we are gonna look at the new NU06 LE mini signal light. Alright, why it is the best signal light on the market today and how it stacks up against other mini beacons in Nitecore's range. Before we begin, if you want to win this exact signal light, make sure you subscribe to this channel and comment below on what you would use something like this for. Right, once we hit 500 likes, I'll be giving away one set each to 3 winners. Alright, the 3 winners will be announced in the description box below. So if you're here watching this, then you're probably looking for a small, super bright light for signaling or safety to make sure you can be seen or just to mark out areas or gear. Right, the problem is signal lights, they've been around for a long time. There are many in the market, but many of them only do red light for cycling and road use, and they don't last more than one night. Now Nitecore has their own offering and did exactly that. Right, this is the original NU05, the mini light that started it all. Right, it does red and white light. Right, here's how it looks like. Tiny little thing. I just press on. You can cycle through your different red and white blinking modes. Pretty decent, right? The runtime is around 20 hours, and the only way to mount it is with a strap through here on the back. Okay, so I found this a bit frustrating because first, why can't I have red constant on? Right, it only does red blinking and red fast blinking. I just want red light, right? Because in low light, that's what's important, and the lack of mounting options was pretty frustrating. Right, and it's also only micro USB recharging. So the police guys were asking, hey, do you have these in red and blue blinkers? And then some of the industrial guys were asking, hey, can you stick them on their helmets and vests? As such, the use of these lights were limited when you need something for more industrial or professional use. Or if you need something that can work for multi-day hikes or for multiple users, these will fall short. Because once these die off, you gotta recharge it before they can use again. Right, of course, Nitecore being Nitecore, they listened to feedback and shortly after released a NU05 law enforcement version. They call this the LE. They added 2 more colors, green and blue, and then the all important red and blue flashing mode. They also added constant on modes for every color, plus a helmet mount that you can stick on caps, strap to vests and attach to mole straps. But the same problem remained, right? The runtime. This had an even shorter runtime at 18 hours. So the guys that were using this had to constantly take it off their gear to charge it. Oftentimes they would head out on ops and realize they forgot to charge this because it's been sitting on their gear all the time. But the good thing about this is that they added the ability to turn on while charging. You can power the beacon with a power bank like this, right? The bigger the power bank, the longer the runtime, which sort of solved the runtime issue, but not in an ideal way. Right, it was still using micro USB. So whereas many of their light has already switched to USB-C ports. After going back to the drawing board, they released the NU07 LE, alright, a much bigger version that solved all the problems of the NU05 LE. They added another color, yellow, because several industries needed an amber color instead of red. Right, because of the larger size, they could double the size of the battery. Okay, here's how it looks like. Because of the larger size, they could double the size of the battery, right, compared to the older NU05. Okay, and now the runtime was up to 50 hours, more than double that of the NU05 LE. Plus, finally, USB-C and the ability to charge and use at the same time. Plus, it had arc rails at the back here, so you can slide it onto the rails of compatible helmets like these, right? Now with all that, this had to be the perfect signal light, right? It was, but users were asking for more. They wanted one beacon where they could easily transfer across equipment. Because the light was so good, they wanted to use it across everything. So you either had to buy several of these or keep attaching it across different packs. Because of this reattachment, many of the guys were snapping off this mole clip on the back. Right, this was the last problem that needed solving. Right, so that's where the NU06 LE was born. So at this point, Nitecore had already nailed the 2 essentials of a mini signal light. 1, different colors. Not only that, but flashing and constant on modes for each color. Right, that's very important. 2, runtime. As we know, these are charged less often than handheld lights because these tend to live on the helmets, packs and other gear. And they just needed the 3rd point, different ways to quickly attach and reattach without breaking the unit. Right, but with the NU06 LE, they didn't just solve this point. They went back and improved on the first 2 as well. Okay, here's how it works. When you first get the light, it comes with these 3 different brackets. Okay, 1, 2 here. Okay, and 3. The one already attached onto the light here. They kept the arc mount so it still works for professionals. And here's how I just slide it onto the first bracket, which is a flat magnetic one, okay, which snaps onto cars, trucks and other metal surfaces. Okay, so here we have a metal plate. There. Now the second bracket is a curved hook and loop one. Right, this is the first flat one with the magnetic bracket. This is the second one, also with hook and loop but without magnets, and it's curved. Okay, so here's how it attaches in. Same thing, pop it in. Now this one sticks onto helmets, caps and shoulder pads. Right, so helmets like this on the side, here, or right on the back here, or caps, right, caps on the back here as well. If you have one of these, alright, this works as well. Okay. Now the third one is my favorite. Okay, a 4-way mole bracket that fits onto any tactical vest, backpack, and any kind of strap that's 25mm. Connect this part in. Okay, and the other side in, and you're set. Right, something like this, very quick attachment. Okay, for whatever reason you can also have it on an end strap like this. Okay, just pop it in this way, the other side in, and there. Okay, removal is just as fast, right? Just slot it out, and you're good to go. It also fits on this kind of webbing there. Okay, as easy as that. This way you can buy multiple brackets, have them all on your bags, and just switch the light over, so you don't have to buy multiple lights. Back on the topic of runtime, they've managed to increase this to 75 hours. Alright, so that's even longer than the 50 hours of the NU07. Right, so how did they make it smaller yet run longer? Right, they made it taller. Right, if you look at it from the side, here's how it looks with the NU07, and here's how it looks compared to the older NU05. Right, just taller by a bit. So this solved two problems at one go. They could fit a bigger battery in there, and this increased height made it easier to see when you're looking at it from the side. Alright, so it's pretty cleverly done, I must say. So the way you choose the color you want is by pressing and holding to turn it on. Okay, continue holding for it to cycle through the different colors and flashing modes. Okay, so it's constant on red, flashing red, constant on green, flashing green, constant blue, flashing blue, constant white, flashing white. Right, then it cycles back to police mode again. So if I want, let's say constant red, green, right, I'll just let go. Oh, I got it on green flashing. Right, then you stay on green flashing. Alright, once you see the one you want, let go and you're set. To turn it off, just press and hold. About 1 second, and it's done. So when you turn it back on, it will remember the mode you left it in. There, green flashing green. So no need to keep setting the color every time you use it. Right, one good thing when it's off, you can also just tap and it will show you the battery indicator. So 3 blinks means it's more than 50%. If you see 2 blinks or 1 blink means you've got to charge it, okay? They've also upgraded the port to USB-C, which can be charged while being used. So if you think about it, you can combine a MB20K, this carbon power bank, which is 20,000 mAh, with an NPP30 pouch like this. Right, just pop in this way, bam, and there it goes. Right now it's charging, and you can still turn it on while charging. There. So this combination like this, of course you need to do a nicer rewiring of the cable, maybe a shorter USB-C cable. Right, a combination like this power bank with a green or red blinker like this can last for 6,000 hours. That's 250 days non-stop. What? Alright, so this right here can be your emergency locator beacon if you're lost in a forest, because there's 2 ports on the MB20K. You can attach 2. Alright, it can last for 125 days non-stop, 24/7. So with this new Signal Life, they completely crushed the runtime problem. Alright, they've given us more ways to mount than ever. Right, the 3 different brackets and all the lighting modes that professional users need. Even if you're a civilian, you can use this as a backup headlamp or reading light, because it does have a constant on 15 lumen white light mode, right? Just enough for you to pack or unpack your gear, do some reading in your tent, right? 15 lumens is pretty bright for pitch black use. We also used this last week on a night hike for the trail leader and trail sweeper. So if you're unfamiliar with trail leader and trail sweeper, imagine there's a group of like 5 people walking along a long forest trail, right? The person in front will always have a green blinker, so everyone behind know that, hey, that is a trail leader. Alright, then the person at the back will have a red blinker. Right, so anybody that fall behind and see a red blinker in front means they are in trouble, they have to catch up. Right, then all the people in the middle participating in the group can use maybe another color. It's also useful to have it on specific gear at the campsite so everyone knows where everything is. Right, in the dark it's quite hard to find where the shared first aid kit is. You know, just slap one of these on and leave it overnight somewhere in a blinking mode. Another way to use this is to mark out dangerous areas. Right, one of the stories an expedition group shared with me when they camped off a cliffside. Right, they used this to mark out danger zones so that no one will fall off at night when they had too much to drink around the campfire. And it really happened. One guy almost walked off the cliff because they couldn't see where the edge was. So if not for this, the guy wouldn't be here anymore. You might think it's a bit overkill, right? But on a moonless night, everything is pitch black, right? These might be the only thing standing between a successful trip and a disaster. But how does it compare to other lights that can also wear and blink, right? Lights like the Thumb here, Thumb Leo, and also the Tiki light, Tiki LE. Right, they both have similar functions. Here's the red blinker on the Thumb. It's only 0.25 lumen compared to the 3 lumens on the NU06 LE. So it's not that visible, but it does have the 85 lumen white light to make up for it. And the very useful pocket clip here lets you clip this onto a cap or a strap easily. You can just aim this wherever you want. So how about the Tiki LE? Right now, this has far superior white light at 300 lumens, right, and a very decent red-blue blinker as well. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Red light here. Tap one more time. Blue light, and you got a red-blue blinker. The only downside is you can't mount this anywhere, right? It has to be hung from the rear, so it might not be facing the same way all the time. So you can see there are many lights out there that advertise a beacon functionality, but only as a secondary function. Alright, so now you've seen the evolution from the NU05, right, to the NU05 LE, to the NU07 LE, and finally to the NU06 LE. And all the problems they solve along the way, right, to make this the best mini signal light available today. Right, every feature has a reason, there's no wasted space on this tiny little tool here. Okay, so if you're serious about trail safety, identification, visibility, or if you're in any of the professional roles that need such a tool, right, this is the one to go for. Now, I know what you're thinking. At this point, the only question most people have would be, hey, is this waterproof? Do I have to worry about it in the rain? Because the NU07 had an exposed USB port here. Right, so if they mounted it upside down, rainwater could go in. So it was a bit of a concern, right? But the NU06 LE has this port covered with this pretty solid rubber flap, and the waterproofing is IP66. So that means in heavy rain it's not going to be a problem. But of course that's not enough, so let's dunk it all the way in and see if it leaks. Alright, we got our tank here. So what we're looking for are bubbles that come out if we drop it all in, okay? Good thing to know, the beacon actually floats. Right, so let's force it down. And we're looking for bubbles that come out. Okay? So far so good, no bubbles. So you see there's actually no problem. It can be submerged, but don't leave it submerged for more than 15 minutes or 30 minutes. Or definitely don't bring this diving. Alright? Yeah, no problem at all. Alright, so that covers it. Every single concern and need has been addressed. Lighting modes, runtime, mounting options, and finally waterproofing. And that's why it's the best signal light on the market today. Right, these are all in stock now at nitecorelights.com. Links to buy are in the description below. The more you buy, the cheaper it gets. We have discounted pricing all the way up to 10 pieces in the new Team Plus pack. Right, so as usual, these come with a bulletproof 3-year warranty and money-back guarantees, so there's really no risk in even trying this out. So that's it. If you'd like to see more videos like this where we help you choose the best low-light lighting gear for your professional work, hobby or adventures, hit subscribe and I'll see you on the next one. Alright, that's it. I'm Jay signing out.